The federal government threatened legal action after car maker Stellantis said it will move planned vehicle production from its plant in Brampton to Illinois, sparking fears about the future of Canada's auto industry.
Yeah, we know Donald Trump definitely has our auto industry in his sights. So joining us live this morning for his analysis is Ian Lee, professor from Carleton Sprott School of Business. Professor, always good to talk to you this morning. This is yet another sign of just how hard the Americans are coming for Canadian auto jobs.
You're absolutely right. And believe me, I don't say this with pleasure. My heart goes out to the people in Windsor and Brampton and elsewhere, but I do believe this is the beginning of the end. I'm not for Canada, for the auto manufacturing industry, not auto parts, not auto services, just putting the cars together in Brampton and Windsor and so forth. Here's my logic. As the late, brilliant Sergio Marchionne, a Windsor boy, a car guy all his life, was the CEO of Fiat Chrysler. And before he tragically, sadly passed away, he talked incessantly in his speeches about how this industry, car manufacturing, which has always been capital intensive, is getting way, way more capital intensive, billions and billions. Last year, the car business, the top 10 companies, spent $200 billion on R&D. Now, I kind of thought that we'd figured out over the last 100 years or more what a car looks like. You know, it's got doors and windows and tires. We had to spend $200 billion more to develop the car. Well, yeah, you do. Where am I going with this? Our auto industry, which everybody brags about, and I admire the workers there, and we claim, and Premier Ford and the federal government claim we have a comparative advantage. We've only had a comparative advantage or done well because we had access to the largest market on planet Earth called the United States. It was always conditioned on that. The moment we lose access, then the game is over, because those tariffs are going to make every car exported to the U.S. uneconomic. That means the producers of those cars are going to close down those plants.
Professor, though, on the flip side, though, we understand Americans are now paying more for their cars, and the whole integrated structure of the North American auto industry, because Mexico, of course, is involved here. That whole idea was to sort of try to lower dollar cost averages, make things more efficient. So the whole auto industry is sort of being turned on its head here. Does that mean even the American auto industry could be threatened by these sort of policies?
Well, first off, I just want to be clear to everybody. I'm not advocating this policy.
I get it. Yeah.
I don't agree with this policy. Trump has been literally since 2016, 15, when he was running for president, he was talking about bringing manufacturing back to the United States, making America great again, MAGA and all that stuff. He's been consistent for 10, 12 years, 15 years on this. This is Trump's vision. I don't agree with it, but it doesn't matter what I think. He doesn't contact me. So my point is, he wants to bring back car manufacturing to the States. I think that the model we have with the Auto Pack and then NAFTA, CUSMA was a good model. It worked. It was successful, but he has rejected it. I watched his words 2 days ago, as well as the Commerce Secretary on a virtual call to Toronto. They were unequivocal. The days of tariff-free cars going from Canada into the States are over, and we export approximately 80% of our output. The only reason we can produce cars competitively at a good price in Canada is because we have long production runs, because we export 80% to the U.S. When we lose access to that market, we can no longer compete, not because we're not good people, not because we're not innovative, not because we don't work hard. It's the economics, the arithmetic of you have to have long production runs. Just very quickly, Nick and Jen, this is why the three manufacturing superpowers in the world are who? China with 1.3 billion people, Europe with over 500 million people, America with over 340 million people. Small countries can only survive like Sweden if they have access to a huge market called the European Union. If Trump cuts us off, and he's going to, the game is over.
Yeah, I hear what you're saying, Professor Lee. It's basically like severing the umbilical cord. And what do we have left now? Very quickly, is there any hope for optimism? I know we're hearing legal action from the federal government. In the long run, that just isn't going to cut it, is it?
No, but I don't want to land on a downer note.
Okay.
He explicitly said, we're not going after your auto parts sector, which is booming and doing very well and employs many people, especially in Southern Ontario. And by the way, even if we do exit, I'm not suggesting, therefore, Canada's over, the game is over. Australia exited auto manufacturing in 2017. They don't make a single car anymore. Everything's imported. And people said, oh, doom, gloom, Australia's going to fall off the cliff. Today, their average income per capita, per person, is higher than Canada, even though it was lower before 2017. So it's not the end of the world. Auto manufacturing is 2% of GDP. Will it hurt those communities? Absolutely. Do we feel terrible for those people? Yes. But it won't blow up the economy, the Canadian economy.
Okay. We'll leave it on that more positive note then. Professor Lee, always appreciate you coming with the data you bring. Thanks very much, and I'm sure we'll chat soon. Appreciate this.
Thank you.
Thanks very much. Thank you, Jen.